Hi, I'm Craig Castelli, CEO of Caber Hill Advisors. The ophthalmology industry has been one of the hotter sectors for healthcare M&A for the past 5 to 7 years. As we roll into 2023, we continue to see very high valuations, strong demand from buyers, and anticipate a lot of transactions occurring by the end of the year. I'd now like to introduce Scott Myatt, our Managing Director who leads our efforts in the ophthalmology space, as he'll share his outlook for M&A in 2023. As always, thanks for watching.
Right now in ophthalmology, it's a great time to think about selling your ophthalmology business. The reason being is that private equity is very active in this space right now. And as most people know, private equity is always looking for new fields to get into. And while ophthalmology is not necessarily a new field, it hasn't been bought out or sold out as much as some of the other fields that have been hot for many years. So it's just starting to get hot with private equity right now, and there's an awful lot of interest. It's always better to sell when when it's sort of a hot industry. So the ophthalmology industry is appealing to many buyers, primarily in the private equity space right now, because there is a lot of consolidation going on, and there's so many specialty fields within ophthalmology that it's you can add a retina group or something else to another group to really have a stronger base in whatever geography you're serving. And so there's so many specialties and that it's just really easy to diversify within any given geography. Right now, we're not seeing the impacts of inflation on the ophthalmology field. There's a couple reasons for that. One is because most eye care is generally not seen as elective, but it is essential. I've worn glasses my whole life. I would have a tough time working or doing much at all without wearing my glasses. Most people that are going to ophthalmologists fit into that category. It's not a fashion accessory. It's not something that they can do without. And so therefore, regardless of the price or a little bit of increase, they're going to continue getting quality eye care. The current rising interest rates has really not impacted either the industry as a whole or the mergers and acquisitions side of the industry. Most of the buyers that we're dealing with work with cash, and they have what we call dry powder. And really what that refers to is they have investments, they have cash in the bank that they need to invest. And interest rates really don't play a factor in that. They need to get this money out there invested for their investors' sake. And so whether the interest rates are high or low doesn't matter to them as much in the short term as it does many other industries. We have not seen the rising costs of employment impact ophthalmology as much as we have other industries at this time. They are specialty doctors. There's a limited field, and it's not like somebody can just go out and say, well, I would like to be an eye surgeon now and become that overnight. So there's sort of a set field. And right now, the supply and demand seems to be about where it should be. So there seems to be a nice parity there. Some clinics might have a little bit tougher time hiring front office staff. However, we haven't seen that as much in ophthalmology for some reason as we have in other areas. Broader trends in the ophthalmology industry really come down to an aging population in the United States, which is great for the industry because as you age, you have more ophthalmological needs. Such as retina, glaucoma, other things like that. And so with the baby boomers continuing to age, then the demand for ophthalmology services continues to increase. One of the key elements that makes an ophthalmology clinic attractive to buyers is the number of doctors. One doctor practices are always going to be a little bit riskier for buyers, and therefore they attract fewer offers, fewer letters of interest. And on top of that, because they are riskier, the multiples, the valuations would be a bit lower. They tend to be a bit lower than doctors or than businesses or clinics that have multiple providers. So the more providers you have and the more that revenue is spread out between different providers or different doctors or surgeons, the better it is, generally speaking. So even if a seller is not ready to go to market and put their business on the market this year, they really need to be thinking about the future and doing those things that can ensure a smooth transition and a smooth transaction when they do go to sell. One of those things is setting up the clinic to have your operations be as smooth as possible. So from check-in to insurance billing to everything that they can do, have procedures that are written down. So if somebody does leave, the next person can pick up where they left off and have a smooth transition. Another thing is getting more sources of revenue, whether that be additional services that the clinic provides or additional doctors providing those services. That takes a lot of risk out. Also, it goes to when you want to sell, and if you're selling so that you can retire, then what it does is it sets you up for better success and the new owners for better success going forward, because they're not just relying on you staying around after you sell the business.
The decision to sell a company is a very big, very hard decision to make. And business owners are up against a lot when they decide to take their companies to market. Private equity investors and large corporations have professionals who spend all of their time buying companies. They're experts at getting the best deal for themselves. Business owners are experts at running their companies, not necessarily selling them. That's where we step in. At Caper-Hill Advisors, we don't try to be everything to everybody. Instead, all we do is advise privately held businesses in very specific industries on the sale of their companies. And we get results. In fact, 100% of our clients have received offers at or above the valuation expectations that we've agreed on at the beginning of the process. If you'd like to learn more about what Caper-Hill can do for you, reach out to anyone you saw in this video today.